A lot of people in the Pokemon community are starting to say that a correction is underway and prices are dropping. We're seeing it a little bit on Journey Together, but is it really widespread? I think we got some mega changes coming, and this cooling off period may be brief. Speaking of brief, let's take a brief moment to tell you about this Brilliant Stars ETB that I'm giving away once we reach 5,000 subscribers. All you got to do is go over to this video here and leave a comment and like on that video. That officially enters you for your chance to win once we reach 5,000 subscribers, giving away that ETB along with 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. So be a part of the channel. It's very simple. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's that simple. So let's dive in. Like I said, we see some cooling off happening. I don't know if we can really call it that. Yes, some cards are actually coming down across the TCG, but the good sign pointing in that direction is actually the recent release of Journey Together. The booster boxes are coming down in prices. The chase cards are coming down in prices, and we're seeing it just trickle a little bit. It's very early on, but this is what we were used to for so long, and this is what a normal market would more so look like. Not exactly these price points, but this is the trend they would follow, where there would be a FOMO price, and then they would drop shortly after release. I still think it's too early to say we've got this figured out and we're in a good cooling off period and everything is going to be okay. Destiny Rivals is right around the corner, and that's going to make things go nuts once again. We already know from the pre-sales that we see on eBay and others that are just off the charts wild. But that's not what I want to talk about, because today is Tuesday. I want to talk about things trending up in price. So we're going to get back to that area of the Pokemon TCG yet to come, and I'm talking about Mega Pokemon are coming back to the TCG. I'm wondering if they're going to introduce this to the Pokemon Pocket along that same time frame. That would be interesting to see that mechanic come to Pocket as well. And a little word here of just we might be getting rid of Scarlet and Violet altogether, and then that was reconfirmed over here that they are moving into Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia or something. I don't know. So interesting. I don't know if those are going to be the Japanese sets or something, or if that's going to be specifically English sets, or they're going to combine it and come out with an English set. Doesn't really matter because they don't exist yet. So let's not really speculate too far into the future on that one. That's not the point. It's about what's actually going up in price right now. And of course, if Mega's on the mind, then Mega is going to gain, all right? So we have that from past eras, a lot of X and Y stuff and others that we have to show Mega cards, Mega Manectric EX here, are going up in price. Over the course of the year, it's been moving around a little bit just because that's the nature of the beast. Over time, things change, yeah, fluctuation, but really just a big spike in the front of this year all the way to present day, because that announcement that came out from Pokemon Day, that they are officially bringing Megas back to the TCG. We're moving on here to a Mega Blastoise. In the near mint, it's really not that unobtainable. I mean, $20 for an otherwise popular Pokemon, interesting card, in this boom, really not that bad. But yes, I would have rather been around in the $10 range for the better half of a year there to be speculating and jumping in on something like this. Obviously, if it was a $10 card before, $20 would be a really bad time to be jumping in at this card, or others at all with these spikes. Not a good time. The fact is the market is in a big boom swing. Even if things cool off a little bit, we have other things coming on the horizon that are going to give a new wave up, a new peak, a new surge back into the hobby for many others. People who maybe started with Team Rocket or Team Rocket Returns, they're going to see that Destiny Rivals. That's going to be their opportunity to come back to the hobby. It all is cyclical, and we see that constantly where there's ups and downs, and you gotta notice the booms when they happen to go, you know what, maybe I'm going to hold off for a little bit. That's what I've been doing lately, and I'm kind of enjoying the ride. I've gotten to a point where I've made my peace with it. It's actually interesting to spectate instead of participate. Mega Charizard EX here, the full art on the X and Y evolutions here. Popular set. If you take that booster box, crazy price right now. The individual cards actually don't seem that bad, but they all follow the same trend. They have been spiking. They have been spiking a lot, and we're over $100 here, about 120 on this one. A little bit of a peak up, but really what you want to focus on is kind of this percentage value. It has increased 182% just through the course of a year. I mean, once upon a time, $40, $42, $45, $50. People were looking at this and going, ooh, a little too much for me. And now we're at that 120 range. You know what? That's way too much for me. So we're going to move on. Even these, all of these are too much for me because, one, I'm not a big fan of these older Mega cards. I wasn't a part of that era. It doesn't have as much of a pull for me. I think if you see the new stuff, I understand why you'd want to go back to the old stuff and kind of have that little crossover, that little exchange there. So I get it. I understand why people are buying into this because of what's coming, and it's a speculation that these will rise even farther once that releases. It's not a bad bet to place. However, it's just not where I want to put my collection dollars at this point in time. For me personally, it's interesting to see how the hobby is moving, though, and this Tuesday trends, looking at things going up, this is where it's really popping off here in the Megas. Mega Pidgeot here, EX Full Art out of XY Evolutions. Big spikes going up here, and the big spikes are still under $20, which good, you know, and a little spike up to $20. But then you just look at it, you're like, oh man, if I really cared about this card, if I really was into that Pokemon, if I was really into Megas or something, wouldn't I have bought this like, you know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and it would have been a $5 card? Why am I spending $15 now? Am I just part of the FOMO, fear of missing out? Am I just trying to ride this wave? Am I hedging my bets on a future market that doesn't quite exist yet? Maybe we can get to a cooling off portion of the hobby after Destined Rivals. Megas maybe don't have as big of an impact as we might expect. You can speculate all day. You can. So we're not doing that. We're just looking at it here. We're just thinking out loud, and we're looking at it here. Mega Argon EX, Primal Clash, big spike right at the end. Just, hey, where can I get it? Where can I get it? Where can I get it? And now you find still sub $50 at $48 for a near mint version of this is where you can get it. Wouldn't be my first pick. I would go for the Slowbro. That's pretty cool. The Mega Slowbro there. Actually, not the highest point, but still, it's been a big gain from where it was over this past year. And it's just stretching out because they're older cards, easier to see a longer history on them and kind of get a better idea of how popular this card really is. Is it riding the wave and all of that? $8 right now for the Mega Slowbro EX out of XY Evolutions. Fun little card there. Mega Lucario EX, Furious Fists. We have it coming up to now a $34 card here. Kind of a cool artwork. I kind of like that. Not super big fan of Lucario, or Mega Lucario in this case. I know he's popular. I get that. But not the biggest fan of Lucario, and that one actually looks pretty cool. Kangaskhan, I remember as a kid, I thought Kangaskhan was so cool. So the Mega Kangaskhan is kind of nice to see. Something a little interesting there. Big spike like all of these here, but that big spike's not out of reach for a lot of people. $13.50 for that price point right there on that one. Sharpedo, Mega Sharpedo, I feel like a card that, or rather a Pokemon that doesn't get a lot of love, showing off as a Mega Sharpedo, kind of nice. This was an alternate art promo in the X and Y era, so big spike here towards the end of this time frame of a year, getting close to 30 at $28 there. And who doesn't love a Mega Rayquaza? Now this is the reprint Mega Rayquaza that was done in Celebrations, which is way more obtainable, way easier to get a hold of, and way, way less expensive than the original Mega Rayquaza EX. So the Celebrations Classic Collection, bringing this in still, though, at $21.50, when a year ago we were looking at less than 10, and for a while. Actually, you get it around the $10 mark and less over the past year. So this has gained a lot, and I assume we'll see that kind of thing happen with things like Generations or Classic Collection, and then eventually on the 30th anniversary, where these reprints or other things that they incorporate into those sets to kind of tie things back together, those will go in waves a lot more because they are tied to an earlier version, and it'll have a resurgence from something else coming in the future because we see a lot of these things coming back. EX cards were once upon a time. They're common now, again, because they brought it back, right? It'll be the same for Megas. Not only are there single cards going up, but anything that has Mega in it, you just see a search going through a CCG player, and it's all spiking. Mega Powers Collection, no data. No data on these things because there's so few sold. This is not the place to be buying this level of sealed product. You're going to find this stuff at a card show. Hold it in your hands. Take a look at it. Go to a local game store and maybe encounter this, or somebody's private collection that they're finally offloading, that you can have some interaction, some back and forth, taking a look at this. So these prices are pretty skewed. I don't really want to dive in too deep. The sales are few and far between. When you look at the bar graph behind, it's showing $400. Who knows what that's true? I would research recent sales on eBay for a little bit better accuracy, and then I would take it with a grain of salt when you actually get to the point of sale, having that opportunity. A Mega Mewtwo collection coming out here. Is this a figure that comes with it? That's kind of cool. I don't even know these boxes. I'm not familiar with them. I wasn't a part of it with the X and Y era, but this is looking like a $300 box. Again, not enough data to really think that's true, but the assumption is safe in saying anything Mega is going up in price right now. Mega Latios collection here. I'm surprised, actually, with the Latios that came out with a Surging Sparks, that a lot more of the past products and cards of those Pokemon isn't going crazy off the rails, although the focus has shifted to evolutions, and now it's going to go into the rocket lifestyle here. So we'll see where all this goes once we actually get back into the Megas coming out again towards the end of 2025. Mega Tyranitar EX Premium Collection, definitely an earlier premium collection there for the TCG, and that adds a lot to it. But we've seen other premium collections, a lot of the UPCs, that are pushing way higher in price, and they're way more modern, way more available. So if you're a Tyranitar fan, this might be something on your radar, just as something else. And I personally, if you found one of these and you're paying that kind of price, this is a sealed piece. You're not going to run and open that. Maybe the big PokeTubers can do that, but for most of us, it's going to be a collection piece, a little bit of a statement. And it seems like these days we're kind of getting to that with the Brilliant Stars ETB. I actually sold one of them off to somebody through Facebook Marketplace. They were super pleased, adding it to their sealed collection. I can't wait to give one away, so that's 2 out of my collection, but I'm ready to give that away once we reach 5,000 subscribers. I mentioned earlier in the video exactly what you need to do, but we got that and the 5 Pokemon mystery card lots going out to 6 winners. Overall, all we got to do is get to that 5,000 subscriber mark, so please consider a like, a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Of course, it's that simple, very easy. And I really appreciate all the recent subs, especially just on the past handful of videos. There's been a bit of a surge working towards that 5,000 goal, so I really appreciate being a part of it. I hope that you find the value in this channel and continue to stay along for the ride. I do post 7 days a week, and with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.